Alright guys, today we're full force on the pull apart trooper. We got all our parts in that we ordered and we're gonna get this thing done. And like we said in previous videos, we're gonna be tearing down the top end because our coolant leak is under the intake. So we're gonna take the intake off. We're gonna do valve covers while the intake's off, and anything else we see as we open her up. So first thing I'm going to do is take the battery out and we'll start disassembling it. Alright, time to dissect this thing. So we're going to start with the easy stuff first. Air box. We're going to unscrew the air box and take this PCV off, vacuum hose off, electrical connectors, anything that's going to be in the way. Up top here, this one here, there's one back here. There's that one back here. There goes the air box.
Bought the camera.
Your filter, how bad is it? Smells like gas?
Smells like it.
Alright. That's filthy. Alright, so we already labeled the lines. I'll pop all these nice NGK wires out. Alright, so I got the throttle cable loose. I'm going to spin this nut all the way down here, because right there is where it's got a space for you to take it off this bracket. So you're going to keep spinning. A little more. Push it, comes right out. And I've removed the EGR tube on the side here. It's in the back. It's got this nut on the tube, and it's a 22 millimeter.
It's kind of hard to see it. Nope.
Yeah, right there. So that needs to be loosened, and now we're going to loosen all the bolts holding the intake on to take it off. Now we're going to move to back here, and I believe it is the 12. So we're going to take our 12 wrench.
We're still connected right here.
Oh. That would help.
The vacuum line.
No, that's coolant. Right here. Alright, so what's holding this up are these two hoses. They're small coolant hoses on each side of the throttle body. So don't forget those. And also the EGR tube is still somewhat in the intake, so that's going to fight us when we take it off. And right now I'm just undoing this hose clamp with a screwdriver. Oops.
Never to be seen again, although it did hit the ground, so I guess we'll see it soon.
Yep, these hoses won't even let me have it.
Just cut them, I'll replace them.
Then there's a 10 mil right here holding this pipe in place. Alright, so let's try this again. there it goes. So that was the upper. Now we gotta take off the lower. See if we can get this gasket off one piece. Less mess.
Looks like it was recently done too.
Might have been. But
do not reuse it.
Yep, never reuse these. That's a bad idea.
No, that's fairly new.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I'm trying to see what brand it is. I don't know, but definitely done. But now we have to go through here and undo the wire harness for the fuel injectors, because the fuel rail comes with the lower part of the intake, because we have to take this off to get to our coolant O-rings that are leaking. So I'm going to unplug these right here. You have these clips on the bottom, that clip, so you just squeeze those together with some pliers. Now we're gonna do the fuel injectors. There's one, there's two, there's three. That just unclips. I don't know what is in. Alright, so down here there's one sensor and two sensor right here. That's where these plugs were, so make sure you don't forget those in the back. These were stuck on here real good. What I ended up doing was taking these curved needle nose and compressing these with this, and when I had it all the way and pulled with the plier, it came right off. So that's that. All this is good. So we're gonna fold this towards the driver's side, and we're gonna scoot it under this bracket there. And we're gonna kind of try to put it that way for now so we can get to this. Next will be this hose should come off. There's that right there. That way it just gets out of the way there. This needs to go back on that later. That's your fuel regulator right there. Next are the fuel lines. These are your fuel lines right here. So we're going to, let's see, take it off from here. I don't think it matters. Can I have that flathead right there? And we'll take these off.
It's probably gonna have gas in it, just so you know, because we.
Yeah, no, it's gonna have gas. And if you want to, there's the Schrader valve right here. So can you get me a paper towel just to check it?
Kind of.
Yep, I got this. Alright, so then you take your piece of towel and you press the valve. Might be better if you put this under. I completely compressed it, nothing came out, so we should be good to take these all the way off. Yeah, and that was a little bit, but it wasn't pressurized. So there's that one. And I got this one mostly off. So I can, oh, this one's gonna come right off, I think. Woo! No big gas. Alright. So there's that. So now what you're left with is, that's off. I think that's a 10 mil right there on the front to some sort of bracket. I think that's for this line, so you don't have to take that off, but these nuts and bolts are 12, and we'll take them off. That should be all bolts for that. Yep. See, completely loose. What we'll do, pop this straight up around the stuff, and there she goes. Oh. It might leak a little gas, so be prepared. So now we're gonna take all these hoses off because this is the hard line. I believe this is the culprit down there where it's leaking. You can see all the green coolant below. I'm just trying to break this hose free, and then I'm going to use the needle nose to pop it off, and then I need to switch that around.
Need to break this free up here.
Oh, okay. We're just going to cut that because the clamps are not cooperating.
I'm replacing the hoses anyway.
Uh-huh. There we go. So that's out of the way. Ah, that's what needs to come out. Oh, that's 12. Alright, see how. And there's something below here. Oh, yellow pan.
Yep.
Put this back. So this is where all our coolant went. It filled up the valley here and spilled out the back. So our culprit is here, and we're going to replace all these O-rings, these old hoses and whatnot, and just eliminate everything. Pretty sure it's an O-ring, either this one or that one. But we're going to use the trusty turkey baster and suck up all this nasty stuff and put it in our jug. Alright, so we got the intake off now. We got everything cleaned up in the valley. And here you will be ready to put everything back together, but we're going to go a step further and do the valve covers because they're filthy. So the gaskets are obviously not 100% anymore. So we're going to start tearing into this. And the first things first, this one's mostly apart. You're going to have your EGR pipe in the way, but you should be able to scoot it out without taking the pipe off, but we'll try that next. But for this one on the passenger side to come off, this is going to have to be taken off, and it's bolted down there at the bottom onto your exhaust manifold studs. So those are going to be 14s, and it's going to be better to come in through the wheel well over here to get it. And that's what I'm going to be doing next, and then we'll be ready to attack these little Allen head bolts to break these free and take the covers off. Alright, so we got this off. That was there. This is the 14mm nut on the stud, and right next to the stud is a bolt, but this is a 12mm. So we use the deep socket 14 and 12 on a combination of extensions, and this one wobbles, so we were able to get to it through the wheel well. And yeah, now that's off. So next is going to be attacking those little bolts on there. Alright, now that we got all the screws out and loose, we're going to try to get this cover out. There we go. That's not bad. Alright.
Oh, these are pretty. Yeah, these definitely have to be replaced. They're not even completely dry at this point.
Alright, so we got the EGR tube loose. We had to take it off because of clearance issues. Otherwise this valve cover was not coming off. And a lot of knocker loose later, we got the rusty nut and bolt free, and this is my savior, more leverage and low pro. So now that that's off, we can easily lift that off if I don't wedge it. And the gasket didn't want to come with us.
No. That's completely.
That's dead.
Yeah, we're gonna. These are probably the same way. Yep, these are hard as a rock. Okay, cool. So these have to go as well. And then we'll check the spark plugs, which we'll replace the other way. Alright, and then we'll be back. So we got the spark plugs out. This would focus. Kind of. Okay, so yeah, they're kind of worn, but they were coated in oil. And you can definitely smell some gas on them that they weren't detonating correctly. So I'm going to go ahead right now and replace all of the spark plugs.
So, hit it one more time and that should.
Alright, so all the spark plugs are in. I ended up using obviously use anti-seize on any of the new spark plugs you put in. And I ended up using this little tool. It's pretty neat. It's just to drop them in there so you don't smash them in there, and I just did them by hand quick. Make sure they didn't cross-thread, and they're in there, so we're ready to finish cleaning up the valve covers, which Alex is doing on the side, and we will start putting this back together.
Okay, so last night we had the valve covers off. They put up a good fight, so we forgot to pick up the camera, but we got, as you can see, new blue gaskets on there. We did the spark plug tubes as well. Highly recommend doing that while you're doing your valve cover gaskets. We did the coolant tubes. There's new O-rings on them. We put them back in. We started replacing hoses, new, coated the pipes because they were really corroded and rusty and didn't want them to rust any further. And now we're going to start putting the intake back on and other little hoses as we go up. So let me grab the lower intake. Actually, we can't do this yet.
Oh, good 90 back there.
Yep, almost forgot about the 90. So, goes on this one. We had a short little straight piece somewhere. This one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll need clamps for it. Just a little more.
Yeah. Good enough. I think it's just being stubborn. There you go.
Right.
I was like, keep me backwards.
So, I guess the nuts are in there.
Yeah. There's 3.
4.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay. And then there's 2 bolts. Which are those? You get one, I get one.
This one nut is having a hard time going on with this stud over here, so we'll just have to tighten it down. It's just got grease in it. And I need to get some fuel injector clips.
I have to tilt this down.
It's fine. Yeah, that one. Good.
Alright, so torque specs are 17 foot-pounds for the nuts and bolts on the lower. So that's what we're going to do in a crisscross pattern. It's torqued. Alright, so now we're back to putting, oh, that was in the wrong spot. This on.
I'm trying to help you.
There. That one.
There it goes. The back one in?
Nope. Hold on. It's that EGR tube. Can you push it down?
Push it down. It's gonna wedged. No, it's wedged.
Wedged.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's on the hook.
I thought that would be easier. Screw me up.
Yeah. Maybe not. It's almost seated.
It will. I just have to pick up enough that it'll swing. It's close enough there. Let's make sure everything's not pinching.
There you go.
There we go. That looks good. How does it look over here? Oh yeah.
Cool.
Cool. So, let's put that back around to the side. This goes back in its home, which is right here.
I know the grommet came with it. It's okay. We'll get new.
Grommet first,
At least the grommet didn't run.
then the valve. Yeah, at least it didn't get ruined, but it also doesn't want to go back in. There you go. Go in your home. Yeah. Alright. Oh, I'm a genius. We didn't take that off. What I had didn't take off. At least it's this side, not that side.
It was, I think, the gas going up the line.
It's not leaking anymore.
Take the key out again and reprime it. We're almost up to the line. Almost pressurized. Just want to make sure I don't smell gas. You have to take the key out to do it.
I know I did. I did it too soon.
Well, good so far. Do it one more time. Jesus, it's a little... I'm just looking. I don't see anything. I'm not smelling anything. The lines are definitely pressurized. Go ahead if you want.
Want to try and start it?
Yeah, I guess so, because I don't see anything. I think that's just the pressure building.
Ready?
Yeah. Is that you? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, no, nothing's leaking.